The Brian Gittins and Friends podcast. I'm not Brian, I'm Ian Boldsworth, I'm the guest today on the show, and I got a message earlier on from Brian, professional entertainer Brian Gittins, telling me that something had gone wrong with the recording and would I record an intro to it separately, which is this now. So I think the subterfuge afoot. I think that what he's done is he's got someone like me who's very successful in podcasts, actually. Very, very successful in podcasts. More successful than Brian will ever be with the Parapod, mental podcast, there's 4,000 words. All the ones I've done are better than this one. If only because we've recorded them. Actually recorded them and put them out. Not just dragged someone all the way down the country, on their own dollar, by the way, taking an entire day out of their life to come and not record something. This is the treatment that I get. So this is the introduction to his podcast. That isn't even his podcast. He wants me to host it. The advice that I've given Brian over the years, and this is why he's on Twitter rowing with the Comedy Awards judges. Because he's got no idea about what he's doing. And I don't even know how long he's missing. I don't know what from the beginning is missing. It's what all he said to me was, the beginning is missing from it. I don't know how long that is. That doesn't tell me anything. That could be 40 minutes for all I know. I don't know how long I should talk now. He's given me no direction. He's made it my problem. Something that's his problem is made my problem. He's gone, oi, Ian, I fucked it up, you do it. You know about podcasts, you do it. And that's what I'm lumbered doing. There could be an element of conspiracy to this. So I'll tell you now, if it's not in the recording, David didn't get my name right. For ages. For absolutely ages. He tried everything. And anybody that thinks that that's a bit of a set-up thing that they do every week, I assure you from sitting there in that studio with him, it isn't. From looking into his eyes at that moment, it isn't a set-up at all. He absolutely doesn't know the names of the people. He called me Boldsworth at one point, Bolston, like loads of ridiculous things with Bol at the beginning of them. No idea. At one point he asked me if I did a radio show about films, which I don't. Said that. At one point Brian sacked him. With my encouragement, admittedly, Brian sacked David, and David left the studio after about maybe half an hour. You've never seen somebody walk so slowly out of the studio. So look, here's your introduction, Brian. There you go. Welcome to the show. I'm sure you'll put funny sound effects over it. Oh, not you won't. You won't do it. Someone else will do it for you. You can't do this, mate. I've said this to you for years. I think at heart, underneath it all, you're quite a funny bloke. But you can't apply this level of unprofessionalism constantly to what is meant to be professional, independent work. You can't. Banging on about your Patreon all the time. Who told you to do Patreon? I told you to do Patreon, now I'm embarrassed. My Patreon I work really, really hard on. Patreon.com/Ian Boldsworth. I work really hard on that. Your Patreon is just you going, alright, every now and again, here's a bit of the podcast that we managed to record. Come on, focus. Get your arse in gear. David, I don't know what to say. If it comes to something when Charles is the most professional person or entity in that podcast, I'm sure it'll now just start halfway through a sentence. Welcome to the show.
And
right, come on then.
And now it's
remember them now. Go. Have another go. Go. Quick.
Bolster.
2. Quick.
Boltaints. Sort of.
3.
Bolter. Something.
4.
It's BOL. It's Boltron.
These are all names as I hear them now that I wished I'd had as stage names.
Well, you know, I think if we were interacting, all I need to know is Ian.
Yeah, that's
How's it
I'm
going, Ian?
you.
Ian?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
No, I'm sacking you.
It's understandable.
I'm sacking you.
You can't sack people these days, can you? I don't know if
Well,
it's
I'm not inviting you
Good
back.
riddance.
Good riddance. Good riddance to old news.
Oh dear, it is terrible. I should be handing my P45.
From now.
You're quite right.
From now. Go.
from now, what?
Go
Out
home.
with the
Leave.
bins.
No, quite right.
Go
I'm
home.
happy
Out with
to
the
leave.
bins.
Out with the bins.
Out of the bins. I'll be by the skips.
No,
maybe
I mean
we'll,
it.
We'll
Go.
talk later. I don't know.
Go.
Okay, up I go.
I think he has
No,
sacked you. I think
go.
he has.
Sick of him.
Literally,
Yeah.
lift my body out of this
Yeah.
chair.
Sick of him.
No, fair enough. I think that's a valid point.
You still look
Well,
like
Ian,
you're acting. You
nice
still
to
look
know
like,
you.
Still feels
You
like
still
you're
look like you're
acting.
playing along with something.
I know. No.
He's had
I'm
his
lifting
time.
up. I'm going. As you can, my voice is leaving.
You're acting.
He's
though.
still acting,
You're acting.
David.
No, it's a case of I've let you down. I do.
You're hovering. You're hovering and doing a performance, but I
Get your
think
jacket,
I think
get
he
your
has sacked
jacket.
you.
That's not a problem. Here we go. Let's,
I'm not putting up with this anymore.
Sorry. No, you're right. You shouldn't do. And you are right, Ian, that I should have done more IT. I should have written it down. I just think I look on my
Yeah.
mobile phone. I found the email
Put your
on
4
train,
jackets on.
and it wasn't enough
Okay.
to actually sort
Put
it
your
out.
four
So,
jackets
The least
on.
you could do is remember the
this has
guest
happened to me
name.
before. In
Okay.
a job. It was
Okay.
it was a
No more
playground.
excuses.
Because you've only got to do that and then just be yourself. That's all you've got
Learn
to
the
do.
names
I know,
and be
yes.
yourself.
No, you're right.
So you do
There's an
no-
element of laziness attached to it.
Okay.
You do no prep for this at all then? You don't even learn the name and the rest is just being yourself?
Enough now,
I think
David.
this is
Enough now.
Absolutely. Well, I
See you
hope
later.
the rest of the show goes
Jacket
well.
number 3 is going on.
Jacket number 3 is going on.
It is all the jackets.
See you
That's not
later.
my one. That's
No,
yours.
that's mine.
Okay.
See you later.
Yeah. I'll.
Nice
Email
meet-
me.
Nice meeting you, David.
No, it's very nice to meet you. It's a great
too.
show. You'll enjoy yourself.
Thank you,
It
mate.
really is.
All the best. It's very busy at the station.
Engineers,
Don't
which would be a bit
keep tr-
embarrassing.
Don't keep
Still
talking.
acting. You're still acting.
Still acting. You're still acting. You're still acting.
You're still doing it as if it's pretend.
Come back out,
Well, I don't know.
and just see what happens.
That's your choice.
Drop the egg,
Can I
man.
come back, or
Huh?
if I apologise, can I come back?
Honestly, I think we've done about 7 on the trot. We don't remember people's surnames.
Right.
It's not on.
And where will I sit?
Enough. Go.
Right. Take care. Look after yourself.
You too, mate.
It's embarrassing. This is a smart.
I'm only joking. Sit down.
Are you sure that's?
No, I'm joking again. Go away. No, sit down.
You play on my feelings.
Yeah, I
now.
know. It's Ian.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Ian, gotcha.
Gotcha.
Ian gotcha.
Ian's
Gotcha.
passing David a little gotcha figurine.
Yeah, there you go, mate.
Absolutely,
There you
a
go.
golden statue.
There we go.
Sorry, just let me get my jacket.
It's Ian
off now.
Boldsworth.
Right, and what did I say?
It doesn't
Right,
believe me.
I mean, there was no, even on your face, and there was no, oh yes, of course it is. You were
What did
like,
I say?
I'm not
Bolson.
sure that's even
What
true.
is it?
No, not
What is
Boldsworth. Boldsworth.
Boldsworth. I've got a psychological issue.
What is it, David?
What is?
Boldsworth.
No,
No.
The thing is, I'm
What
very
is it,
on
David?
edge here. You know, at one point I thought I was going to be asked to leave.
What is it,
Yeah,
David?
I've
No,
now
yeah.
come back. I was
No.
getting a bit emotional.
Yeah, but
at one
you've got a
point.
gotcha though.
I have got a gotcha.
What is it,
a little bit
David?
of loft.
Do you know I can't remember his surname again because it's got
Yeah, it's got-
intent, and
yeah,
I've
yeah.
got. It's,
What is it, David?
It is Bosworth.
No.
No.
I'm not angry with you, by the way, David.
Oh, yeah.
Nor
Do
am
you know
I.
what I mean? It's a case that I think he should be.
No, I'm
Nah,
not. I'm not at
no,
all.
no.
I'm not annoyed.
I think it's a special need that I need to see my GP, Dr. Mott.
Boldsworth.
Sorry? I'm not. I think a lot of it is I just don't listen.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, I'm sort of in my own kind of Dave Edwards world
Well,
of
do you know,
what
we've
I'm
done
doing, what do I
nearly
want.
15 minutes on this.
It needed it. I think what's it called? Not a convention where people just stop.
It's a gag.
things.
It's a gag.
Surely.
It's a bit of a joke, bit of humour.
It's a running joke, this.
It
definitely.
is. Not for me. It's my life.
Ian.
But
Ian.
I wouldn't consider myself to be very ego-led, David, but I am feeling now,
that I'm sort of living in a narcissistic
like,
bubble.
I'm feeling broken.
It is.
I'm
It's
not angry
good,
with
is
you,
it?
but I do
Say
feel
it one
irrelevant.
more time. We'll bring this to an end. It's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boldsworth.
Boldsworth.
Yes.
Simple as that. A bold and worth.
With an S in it.
Boldsworth.
No,
Yeah.
what you did there,
Yeah.
you broke that down to help yourself remember it and did it wrong. You said it's a bold and it's worth, so Boldsworth.
Boldsworth.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Simple
it.
as that. There's no D, just Boldsworth.
There is a D.
There is a D. There is
So
a
that'd be
D.
Boldworth.
No,
It's a silent D.
You're allowed a D and an S in the same
No,
word.
D.
Boldsworth.
That's it. There we go.
Simple as that. There you go.
Yeah.
Am I
It
done?
happens.
Is that me now?
Yeah.
fun.
That's it. Cheers,
Enjoyed
Ian.
it.
There we go.
Thank you.
Next time, pen and paper. Get the
Cheers, Ian.
information
Appreciate that.
down.
Who's going to forget the next one?
Yeah, well, the next guest.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
I've already admitted that I've on that person's.
What's Ian's second name? Finish it off.
What was it?
Boldsworth.
Yeah.
There you go, absolutely.
Okay,
I feel
let's get
nervous
on with
before
it.
saying it.
Yeah,
It's
one
just
more
like,
time.
It's like a great Boldsworth.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Every time I say it, it's like it's like playing Russian roulette with a gun
Ian,
to my
thank
head.
you so much for coming.
Hey, it's a pleasure,
Ian,
mate.
I apologise. If this was
All
like
right,
a family
all
gathering,
right.
it'd
You don't
be
have to
embarrassing.
apologise.
All
You don't have to
right.
apologise.
Very good of you.
fine,
Cheers.
Lovely to have you on board.
It's lovely to
Ian.
be on board, mate.
And
Absolutely.
obviously, this episode we're in a morgue.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And what do you see, David? What do you see around you?
I see lots of white blankets over bodies. Simple as that. I can see their little toes sticking out with tags on the big toe. I can see their hairline, and simple as that.
That one
and they're
has got a
laying there.
stiffy.
That one's got a stiffy. We'll look
that
at that
one.
one in a minute.
Yes, that's science.
Do you mind? Have you ever been in a morgue?
I have, yes, I have.
What?
I've been
Wow.
in a couple of morgues.
How?
What do you mean, how?
Well, why?
It's a better question, isn't it?
That's quite a place to be.
Why? What?
I've done. I can't really say. It's because it's to do with work related.
Right.
No, I'm not. I don't work
No,
in a
you're
morgue.
not.
But I have been in morgues.
Yeah.
I've been in disused morgues as well. That are supposed to be extra frightening. But
God,
they're
that
not.
sounds even worse.
Yeah.
So what was an interview you were doing there, or?
You wouldn't get much joy in a morgue doing an interview.
Oh, I thought maybe the people doing autopsies. Things. You
I was
are
thinking-
right. You're on your own,
Yeah.
just surrounded by bodies.
What they like?
I've been in morgues. I've not been in a morgue to see a body either. You've never done that?
No, I've been in a chapel of rest. Is it chapel of
Okay,
rest?
yeah.
Yeah.
I went in a morgue when my grandma died.
Right.
That was the first grandparent that died, and I saw her in a morgue.
What do they look like? So I've said we're in a morgue.
Very
I
still.
I don't know what.
Oh, the
No,
morgues.
yeah. What? I've never been in one. I don't know
Do you know what? I can't.
What
I
are they?
can't
What are
rightly
those things with all
remember.
the drawers at their morgues?
I don't remember anything like that.
Right.
Like I really don't remember that. But I'm sure that is a thing. That must be
Yeah,
a thing.
Lots of silver.
Here, there's loads of drawers.
They're freezers, aren't they? Or they're cold storage.
Right.
Aren't they? That's
Right.
what they are.
How
Right.
frightening! So that's where you go in a fridge as soon as you're dead.
Yeah, but you're dead.
I guess, but
There'll be
even
no
then,
fear-
my
no
mind
fear.
is still sounds quite hideous. Do you know what I mean? Things really have come to an end.
But you're dead.
Like a
then.
McCain's pizza just chucked in a fridge type of. Yeah, I guess you are
But
dead.
you are
You're
dead,
just
yeah.
meat.
Absolutely dead.
But the
Yeah.
Dave Edwards Corporation still isn't happy just to be, frozen sort of thing and forgotten about.
But you're dead. So
I
you'd have
guess.
you'd have
yeah,
no
you're
knowledge
asleep.
of it happening.
Yeah, this
You're not,
is,
no,
this
you're not
is true.
asleep, David. Not
Yeah.
asleep, David. You're dead.
Yeah, you're not going to wake up later on in the year
Nothing.
2060
You
or
wake
whatever.
up, oh, freezing.
Like Buck Rogers.
Nothing like that.
No, it's come to an end. There's a full stop.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a morgue, David?
Never. I've seen them on Silent Witness. That's it. I don't think I'd want to go even if I got an invitation. I think it'd be very frightening. The end of... if it was a family member and I was helping people out, it was an admin task, I guess I'd have to.
What do you mean?
Well, is that your father? Yes. We found him on the motorway type of thing.
Right.
Hit by a juggernaut or whatever
Right.
has happened. These
Can
things
I
happen.
say it wasn't like that with my grandma? We knew they knew who they'd got, and we
Yeah.
knew she was there.
That's why I was
So it's just
surprised
the
about having to go
final
to the
goodbye.
morgue.
No, well, that was Chapel Arrest, so that was again
Right.
all that. It was relatively close to her dying,
Right.
because I was with her when she died.
Oh, gosh.
This isn't the
Is
best.
it fine that I'm talking to you about this with my glasses?
I don't know, really.
That's weird, isn't it?
What it does show is the empathy in your eyes at,
Yeah.
at a much bigger magnification.
Indeed.
If anything,
Because I don't
Eyes
feel
the
equipped.
soul.
to-
you seem to care more.
I do care. David, you don't care at all?
Don't care.
Oh, I do, that your nan died.
What was her name?
Goodness
What
me.
was her surname?
Come on.
Boldsworth.
No, it was Moore.
Thank God. Thought I got it right again.
On my mum's
Literally,
side.
I had a heart murmur then.
Yeah.
I literally thought,
Yeah.
oh, right, I've got a parasite in my brain, but I don't.
Right, come on.
Boldsworth.
Let's get on with this. So we're in a morgue. We're in the morgue. Where is the morgue, David?
The morgue is on the outskirts of Milton Keynes.
Sure.
Well-known one. It's like a morgue HQ. So it really does look after the Midlands of Britain.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got a first
on the
question
centre.
from,
It's
from me.
Milton Keynes isn't the Midlands, is it?
I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. Is it below the Midlands?
Milton Keynes. Is that Midlands? Milton Keynes?
I think it's just near the Midlands. They ship them out the Midlands to the outskirts where Milton Keynes is.
Okay, they drop them down to Milton Keynes.
Right.
Absolutely, just roll them down Britain.
Yeah.
Just
Can
like
we
in the
dig that
south.
parasite out of David's brain later? Like
Please
alive or
do,
toxic?
if it's possible,
Yeah.
to remove the parasite, like Star Trek 2 or whatever. I'd be hugely appreciated if we could do that.
Right, my
'Cause it really is
first
ruining
question,
things.
David, is first question of the podcast. If you were to have a sex session with 9 women at once, can you talk us through how the session would pan out?
Well, there's a lot of people out there who like the idea of,
Whisper it.
Whisper it, but you've got to whisper the answer.
There's a lot of people out there who like the idea of a sex marathon, them versus
Quiet.
9 other women, them versus 9 other women.
Versus.
So that sounds a bit
Versus, what's
competitive. But versus, well, there'll be an element of
Versus.
expectation.
Quieter and closer to the mic.
The mic. Quiet
And
the
it's an element whereby
So you
I-
walk in the room. What do you say?
I'd walk in the room. First of all, I'd find it hard to
Closer.
I'd find it very hard to be aroused, knowing that I'd have to copulate with 9 people, one after another,
Where
one
are
after
they in the
another.
room? What are they doing?
They're in a gym, and it's like Sean Connery in Diamonds Are Forever. They all surround me, and they're in kind of 70s power dress bikinis, and
Bit quieter.
Quieter.
and I feel demasculated, and
Really?
yes, because they're all around me, casting a shadow on me,
Slow,
and it's almost like having to do a job, a shift at Tesco's, having to
slow.
stack shelves, thinking, God, I'm gonna have to do 1, and then after that I've still got 8 to do, and it's becoming too much like work and less about
One
leisure.
more bit slow.
And I just want 1 woman and 1 experience and a nice memory. I don't want 9. It's too much. I'll get full too easily, and I'll be left with a stitch and just too much expectation, which doesn't help the male member to fluctuate in the required manner with blood streaming below in that area, when psychologically you've got a block that you've got 9 people to satisfy.
You're not
Not at the
going
same
you've not got
time.
to satisfy them. That was never part of the prerequisite.
No.
Well, I would have thought so during sex and
Not
interplaying
necessarily.
You've
calls.
got to. I mean, that would be the gentlemanly thing to do, David. But you don't have to do. You don't have to satisfy all.
Or
9.
you could grow 8 more penises.
You could do that.
I just don't think science is advanced enough
Where
to do
would-
that.
Where, if you grew 8 more penises, where would they grow?
On my
Slow.
arms,
On your arms.
so I could all on my chest like a cow's teats.
Yeah.
So I could just share them out in a manner and just do it all in one
Are you
go,
being serious
multitasking.
here?
Well, I'd think about if I was going to have lots of penises on me, I'd want to do it in the sense that I could just immediately get the job done and just go home, get my jacket on, and get on public transport.
But think of the logistics of that, though, David. So you're going to have 8. Was it 8 penises? On
9. I'd want
9
it
down.
all,
Like,
8
Closer
on
to
my
the mic.
chest and my original one.
But think
Closer to the mic.
Sorry,
But where are
this is
they
mine.
in this orgy that you're about to partake in? Where are the penises going to be going? Where you don't have to be too crass, but where are they going to be going?
They just all sit on them.
Yeah. So if they're all just in a line down your front, the logistics of that are insane, aren't they?
Well, they'd
How-
all
how-
just sit on them in a row. There'd be 4 on one side, 4 on the other side,
But
4
that
on
wouldn't
one.
work.
But even
that would work.
even if you had those penises there now, and we lay down on the floor now, do you, if they weren't there, if you didn't have the penises and we lay down on the floor, do you think 9 girls could sit in a row on your front?
No, so that's a very valid point.
Yeah.
I'd have 2 at the top of the rib,
Yeah.
another one at the bottom of the rib, and then the other 2 would sit on my thigh. Or perhaps just one on my knee and the other one on my thigh.
Okay.
So the entirety of my body would be like some kind of sex machine type of thing. And I just
Quieter,
stay there,
please.
look at the ceiling.
Quieter.
I just stay there and look at the ceiling. The orgasm would be enormous.
So the idea of having a sex session with 9 women does not interest you one bit. Can you not keep your voice down?
I think the number's too large for intimacy. I just think it
Why
would be
can't
like
you
a
just-
Manson cult.
Sort of abuse them. As if they're just objects.
I mean, abusing someone takes a lot of effort and energy and focus. You know, I just think that
When you
that'd be
said
too much.
when you said about the orgasm, about it being an insane orgasm, do you anticipate that all 9 peni will ejaculate at the same time?
I would try and play it like an instrument so it all came to an end like an orchestra. Yes.
So you would. So not only are you catering to 9 ladies, you're also catering to 9 peni as well, aren't you? Because
Yes.
because you said I would try and cater to, try to
Penises.
orchestrate
Yes.
them, which means that they're all independent of each other.
Yes, they are. I try
So
and keep
you're
it in
working
one.
9 cocks.
Yeah, it'd be exhausting.
And
It sounds
9
like a
ladies.
hell.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Twilight Zone episode where a man thinks he knows what he wants. He's given it,
Yes.
and it turns into a dystopian
Closer
nightmare.
to the mic, please.
Yeah.
A dystopian nightmare.
I think I would go for extremities with the penises,
Penises.
rather than having them all in a row or just dotted about just your torso and thigh area. I'd go, okay, put one on that hand, one on that hand, one on that foot, one on that foot,
Yeah.
one on my head.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, and that way you can.
What's that, David?
You can
Yes, no, it's a
Right,
good
yeah.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
moving them
You
around.
can move around better then, can't you? You can
Some on your
get,
shoulders.
get purchase. I think shoulders again is asking for trouble. Maybe on your back so you can rock.
Yes, very true.
You can rock like that.
Ian's just rocking.
I'm amazed that it sounds like a Hellraiser film or something. Have they done a movie like this?
I'm,
Sort of a
I'm
man
surprised
filled with
that
penises.
you've turned this into something. This is
What, quite
a
dark
negative
and-
experience. Yeah, I thought you might just have fun with it.
Put it this way:
Closer to the mic,
the
please.
more people you're surrounded by, the more you feel lonely.
Okay.
Oh,
All
it'd be like being on the
Ian, have
London
you got a
Underground.
question for
I have,
David?
yeah, I've got them on my phone.
Okay, and away
Here
from the
we
mic.
go.
Thanks
Away
for that,
from
David.
sex
Thanks
orgies.
for that, David.
No, not a
Can you
problem.
just pull open that drawer, see what's in that?
There we
Wow,
go. A
what do you
large
see?
Toblerone.
No, we're in a morgue. We're in a morgue.
Sorry. There we go. Well, the autopsy man might be hungry.
Or maybe it's died.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
That's
true.
an
You're
arm.
quite right. Or maybe it was, someone choked
That's
on
an
her.
arm.
Yeah, that's an arm. And open
Okay.
the other drawer. Let's see what's in
There
there.
we go. We have a brain in a jar floating around in pickled onion liquid.
What, really?
Yeah, some kind of scientific lab liquid.
Okay, what's your first question? Ian?
The first question is very simple. My other questions that I have on,
Right.
but this one is quite simple, and I'm asking you this, David, because I hate being asked this myself.
Oh, yes.
I really
Wow.
hate it to be asked this
Okay,
question.
let's see.
Can we,
very
have
simple.
can we have a little bit of music here, James, the editor, just to tee up the question? Here we go.
Right, you
we
ready?
go.
Thanks for that.
And it seems more straightforward than it is. What have you been up to?
It is a hard one when someone says that. What have you been up to?
Hate it.
I've just been eating bowls of cereal in the morning, watching YouTube videos of, I love slipping over in the North Pole. And I've been getting quite into, they've got a new sandwich corner at where I work. So I've been getting into tuna baguettes and things like that. That's something to look forward to.
All right.
Netflix, that's kept me going.
Yeah.
Um,
What else have you been up to?
What else have I been
The
up
sandwich corner.
to? Sandwich corner. Lunchtime baguettes.
What
A
else?
sandwich corner.
Yep, sandwich corner. That's key. That's definitely. Other things I've been up to are.
What is a sandwich corner?
Sorry. What is a sandwich corner? I apologise. A sandwich corner is a corner of the canteen that's dedicated to constructing sandwiches.
Okay, brilliant. What else have you been
What
up
else?
to?
I'm planning to. I haven't as yet.
So not,
But I'm
No,
pla-
actually been up
this
to.
can't be in it then.
Right, okay.
That's what
Well, I've
you've
been
been
doing
planning.
research for
Oh, right,
it.
okay, fine, sorry, forgive
It's
me.
called a website called No Strings Attached, and it's for adults to meet up and play badminton. And I've been umming and ahhing about the possibility of maybe doing that. But at the end of work, it's just like, I don't know if I can be bothered. It's like, let's go back to Netflix.
I like playing badminton.
If you're serious, I'd be very much up for doing that.
Yeah, half serious.
Well, if we can make that 60-70% serious, I'd definitely be interested in collaborating on
Okay, well, we
the
can
court
email,
with
we
you.
can
Let's play now.
Let's play badminton now. I've got a little racket. Ian's got
Why
a
don't
racket.
we?
We're in a morgue,
why don't
though,
we?
is that inappropriate?
We are
we'll,
in a morgue.
we'll pull out one of the gurneys. That can be the net.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
One of the high
There
up
we go.
ones. We'll pull a high one out. There we go.
One.
There we
No
go. We're
problem
in
at all.
badminton.
we
Is
go.
it, mine
Let's
is just
use
a
this
reality.
head as a shuttlecock.
Let's use this little head
You
as
can
a
create any
shuttlecock.
location something else.
Ready, David?
Here we go.
to
Service. What? There we
Oh,
go. Over it
that's-
goes.
And back to you again.
Backhand.
Over to you, Ian.
It's going to last us.
Oh, there we go. A volley.
Lovely.
That, we need another head. That's already knackered.
Well, there's plenty of heads all around.
Okay, I've got a question here from someone on
Thank you.
Patreon, David. I've got a
Goodness me.
question.
Well, thank you for being part of the Patreon family. Very good of you.
Stuart Page.
It
Wow,
rings a
this-
bell, that name.
This is from Stuart Page.
Right.
This is a hell of a question. Is everything going to be all right?
I used to think so. I think now it's a case of it's 50-50. I don't. I'd have thought things would have been all right by now.
In your own life or the world? Do you mean?
And both.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think. Do you know what I mean? In Dave Edwards' universe,
Yep.
the Mind Parasite is a worry that I can't remember 2 names put together.
Okay.
So I think there's a CAT scan in order there. I don't know if you can get those free of charge with the NHS.
You're not scared of that, though?
Very much.
My memory's so bad that I sometimes think I should have one, and I just won't go because I'm too scared of what they'd find.
It's very worrying. Maybe I just don't. It's a Christmas gift I'll leave under the tree type of thing.
I'd rather just slip away, I think, now.
Right.
With minimal fuss.
What do you think will happen? You'll just lose more and more memory. You'll forget what you just put in the fridge.
Yeah.
You'll forget,
Possibly.
what
I don't
your
know.
street name is.
People with Alzheimer's, are they aware that they have?
It's a good question, that, isn't it? I don't.
Thanks.
Well, they
Can
must.
I have some kind of celebratory noise?
They must start becoming aware of it as it starts to become, because it doesn't happen like that overnight, does
No.
it? It's a gradual thing.
No.
So maybe they would be aware of it, but maybe there would be an element of, as you're becoming aware of it, you dismiss, like, as I would do certainly, you just dismiss it as, oh, I'm getting older, or I've more things to remember, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Take your glasses off.
I know it's weird.
It is really weird.
It's worrying.
You can't have a serious conversation with a.
very
I'm
difficult.
wearing like a Super Mario hat.
You're
is it?
pulling it off.
And a
I've
pair
got
of
quite
glasses.
adjusted to it now. It's a nice look.
Is everything going to be all right, David?
The optimist in me says yes. The realist says
No.
Just appreciate what you got now, because I think you were saying about dementia. Apparently, the first thing that does go is names. So colleagues at work is the first thing. Then
What's Ian's surname?
Boldsworth.
Yes.
There we go. Thank God. Every time I go for that.
But I think you've got to know the name in the first place to acknowledge it as part of dementia that you forgot it.
This is true. Thank
You'd
you
have to
for
know
that.
it. You have to know it straight away.
Thank you for that. That gives me some hope, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's colleagues, then celebrities and family pets.
So is everything all right? You've sort of. We're talking about memory here.
Yes.
Right.
And
Do you remember the question?
I do remember the question well. Is everything going to be all right, Dave? There you go. That's reassuring. Isn't it? I remember that.
Okay, I'm not sure.
That question was
Is
a
it gonna
real
be
page
okay?
turner brand.
Is everything going to be okay?
Is everything going to... There we go. A bit of robo-wit there to keep me going. A bit of morale booster.
Yeah.
Is everything going to be okay? A few years ago, I'd said yes. But now, who knows?
Yeah.
Get
That
ready for a
question was a
tsunami.
real Stuart Page turner brand.
That question was a real Stuart Page turner.
Nice. That was
Lovely.
David, there's a little piano here.
Oh, yes. The old...
I'm just going to roll it into place.
lovely.
Could you make up a song playing the piano called Everything's Going to Be Okay?
There we go. So just a few little tinkeries on
It's
the
David
ivory there.
Edwards with Everything's Going to Be Okay.
And this, I can imagine, a sort of Bugsy Malone in the middle of a pub.
Okay.
Everything's gonna be alright, Jack. It's
Change
gonna
the
be
tune, mate.
okay. What was that?
Change the tune.
Change the tune.
Okay, here we go.
It's gonna be alright, Jack. Oh, that's the same tune.
It's all right,
isn't
don't worry.
it? It's gonna be alright, chaps. Get your feet up, do the can-can. It's not gonna be an Armageddon, chaps. It's time to do the can-can. It's gonna be okay. Okay, do the okay. Can-can.
Did you feel uncomfortable with that?
I didn't feel uncomfortable, but I had loads of questions as it went along. Like
If there's a piano behind it, I think it would work.
you changed
Well,
everything.
we'll see.
Everything
Good
to
luck,
it's.
James.
Everything to...
It started with everything, but then you said it's going to be okay. So
It's-
you dropped everything. I don't know where the can. I don't know if I missed something in the conversation where the can was relevant.
Well, if everything's okay and people are feeling optimistic and upbeat, because I imagine myself in a sort of East End pub
Yeah.
in London,
Doing Bugsy Malone, you said.
Cockneys just immediately go into the can-can when they feel, when they get a dopamine surge in their heads.
Cockneys do the can.
I'm pretty sure they do.
I don't think
don't
they do, mate. I think you're thinking of
Is that French?
a Cockney knees up.
Yeah.
A Cockney needs up.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Which is a can-can, is it not? Or
No.
Really.
who does do can-cans then? That's like women in France.
It's like Moulin Rouge and all that.
Yeah.
stuff,
There
isn't
you
it?
go. I'm just basically a bit of water away from where I need to be. That's
What
all it is.
is
It's
the
just a
deal?
bit of ocean.
Oh, God.
Knees up, can. That's where the French and British can come together.
Yeah.
That's where the Eurotunnel's there.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
we can all bond arms and with me on the piano.
Yeah.
What
Fingers
is
crossed.
the okay?
Everything is going to be okay. Thanks,
What
Charles.
is the okay?
What is going to be okay?
I would say God, I think there's no asteroids out there. NASA have done a recent report. There's nothing hovering out there that's a big rock.
Okay.
So we're not going to have a Michael Bay nightmare on our bloody hands.
Okay.
So
Can
that'll
you
be
do
all
the
right.
same song but about asteroids, and then we'll move on to the next question.
Gosh, here we go. So we're in a pub.
Asteroids is a difficult rhyme.
It is a very hard one.
Let's have
yeah.
our knees up and sing about asteroids.
Come on, let's do the
Look
can-can.
up at the sky, Roy. There's some asteroids. Take a photo, Jill. It's the last you're gonna have till the rocks come down and destroy our town. That's
One of the best things you've ever
Oh,
done.
thank you. That's
Yeah.
quite good of you.
Impressive.
There we go. More
Yeah.
positive. Maybe it's going to be okay with my singing.
Ian.
There we go. I can relate.
You got another question, Ian?
No.
How are you anyway, Ian? I'm not saying
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm okay, I'm not bad. I'm
What have you been up
always
to?
tired. Fuck off. Do you not
You're
hate that
always
question,
tired.
though?
Yeah.
I hate that question because it makes you relive. When someone
Makes
says, if I get a phone call at the end of the day,
Oh, you don't want to
and,
go
and someone
today?
says, what have you been doing? What have you been up to? It's like, oh, I've just done it.
Yeah.
I had to
you sort of
relay
think,
it all
what have I
back
done?
again.
Yeah.
Do you have exciting things to tell? But if you,
Hey, we didn't do a golden. You've got a golden question in a second. You can ask Ian. Okay.
I certainly am looking forward to
One
that.
question to ask our guest. Here we go.
Okay, if
Question.
if you'd planned and executed the perfect murder, but were then arrested for it, would you profess your innocence or would you admit it immediately?
Oh, I
Would you try and
definitely-
wriggle out further?
I'd definitely try and wriggle out further because there's no way a prison would be an ideal sort of living quarters for me whatsoever. So
You don't
my
think you'd do
ego.
well in a prison?
No, God, no,
No?
not at all. I think pecking order wise, I'd try. I mean, I read an article in Loaded magazine back in the 90s, which really listed what you need to do.
What do you
and,
mean? What you need to do?
If you suddenly found yourself, in a jail, the slammer as they call it in the jail,
What you
that's
need to do?
to immediately show some kind of alpha male authority
Oh.
and make sure you don't become someone's wife, if you can believe it. That's the
Stab a dude.
slang.
Sabadoo.
Basically, yeah, your first fight is vital. You've really got to get involved. A
Shag a
biro
cat.
to the thigh.
Shag a cat.
That's the
Shag
sort
a
of thing. If you shag a hat or cat, either one, if you can show you're slightly demented, that'll get you some brownie points.
I don't think you'll struggle with that.
No.
Fingers crossed, but it's not the demented that they're interested in. They're not interested in forgetting people's names.
Got you.
They're interested in half man, half wolf.
Yeah,
type of
Half
thing,
man,
yeah.
half wolf.
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
madness, just sort of Darwinian rage going
How
through
would,
your
how
your
would you
blood.
stab someone? What would you stab them with? Because you're in prison, remember?
I would improvise with a fork. That
Wouldn't
I'd
have one.
How do they eat them? With a spoon?
Well, you might have a
Whatever they-
plastic one.
Plastic. Well, I'd go with that, and then I'd
A biro.
snap it so it
Biro.
was stuck in their, cheek or whatever. A biro, yes, perhaps.
Biro in the cheek.
Biro in the cheek, both
You could
cheeks.
then put your hand over the mouth and blow them up.
Yeah, that's and then the biros would come popping out, sort of thing. It's got to be memorable.
One of your 9 willies.
It's almost marketing.
1 or 9 willies.
Yeah, absolutely. They might be interested in that.
8 willies.
I think
Pretty
I'd
sure
keep
it's
that
8.
undercover. I wouldn't tell anyone about that.
Why? Just set your top off as soon as you walk in there.
But the thing is, they'd want to use them in some kind of.
Be serious. Be serious.
No, they would
Don't
do. wouldn't-
point.
Oh, sorry, put that away. A man who's been locked away for maybe 6 months to 5 years, their sex drive is going to be disorientated. And the idea of just penises, I think they would just, I'll have some of that.
Well, there'd
Yeah.
be loads of penises in there already. You've got your own penis, we presume.
But we're saying I've got 9 though now.
8.
Oh, 8.
8 plus 1, 9.
8 plus 1, 9.
Plus your
And
own
they'd want to
pre-existing.
abuse that.
What? All right, bit of maths. 9 penises plus 113 equals what?
9 penises plus.
113 penises equals.
That would be 122.
122 what?
Penises.
Yeah.
Absolutely, which is terrifying. So it'd be like being surrounded by 120 whatever Mike Reeds just demanding, shouting at you.
Yeah.
Chain
What are
smoking.
we talking about? What are we talking
Mike
about here?
Reed?
Oh, about him wriggling out of a murder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just life in prison.
What is the best job to have in prison, David?
The best job to have in prison is definitely working in the kitchen, because if they're abusing you, they're not going to get to eat later. So you're the
Correct.
chef. Yes.
He said correct.
Oh, correct. Bingo.
Yeah.
So if you make it, I'll be like,
Bingo.
okay, you can abuse me and use me as a sex trophy if you wish, but you're not going to get your porridge on time. I can't multitask. Do you know what I mean? It really is as simple as that. I focus on the recipe.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
You sent me a message a couple of days ago. You said, just to change the subject, you had a strawberry yop.
I did have a strawberry yop, yes.
Give me up, me mama. Me mama. Yup for when the morning come.
Are you aware of yops?
Yup for when the morning come.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to. Yeah. Are they nice?
They're absolutely wonderful.
Sounds like
they're
yogurt.
half price at Tesco's at the moment. They're a yogurt drink.
Yeah.
Strawberry
Do they
or...
still make them?
They do still make them. A large
shouting.
one. Sorry,
Stop
keep it
shouting.
low. I just got excited by that. Suddenly I've forgotten about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, raspberry or strawberry. There's other flavours. And they just hit the button. They really do just click. Tick the box.
Yeah.
Yup for when the morning come.
David, could you
refreshing.
open another drawer in there, Morgs?
Yeah.
We've got a celebrity corpse. So let's have a look.
Here we go.
Recently died. Who is it?
They are the teeth and gum of Gary Lineker.
Okay.
And gums, I should
Yeah.
say, rather.
Yeah.
So, he's obviously been in some kind of car crash or something horrific where his body is shattered into lots of pieces and that drawer is his mouth.
Okay.
A full draw. A full draw.
Absolutely.
Which is his mouth.
And it's shining and clean and it's got a lot of persona behind it. I can see why the BBC pay him as much as they do.
Has it been
It's
announced?
worth it.
Has it been announced yet that Gary Lineker's?
I think it has. I'm pretty sure it has. I think they announced it
Into the
before in the
mic,
morgue.
David. Into the mic.
It's sorry, yeah. I think they would announce it before they started alphabetically organising his body into little drawers.
Yeah.
David,
Yes.
right? Would you be up for a little bit of fun?
Here we go. Hang on.
Oh yes. It
that
depends
the-
what your
There's only us
fun
three.
is.
There's only us three in this moment.
Oh yes.
No one.
The editor put a bit of music on this. Don't know what's
No
coming.
one's checking on us. Get Gary's. What is it? What is it? If Gary's there,
His teeth and gums.
grab his teeth and gums. Yeah, get hold of him.
Oh yes, I got them in my hand.
What else
Here
is
we
in
are.
it as well?
Teeth, gums, and I think a few fingers, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's it.
Fingers probably up well. Is his nose not in there at all?
Well, below that, there we go. Yeah, that's his nose.
He's got
just
ears.
rested.
He's got quite big ears, hasn't he, as well? So get.
Okay,
the
so
ears
it's
on.
alphabetical. Let's find E for ears. There we are, looking up
They
at
look
me.
heavy.
Right, put the
are
teeth. Put the teeth in your mouth.
Well, I don't know if I should do it.
Come on, just do it.
Gary
Come on.
Lineker's
It's
teeth
been
in your mouth.
appropriate. I mean,
Go
he's
on.
got, it's got loved
Go
ones.
on.
Right,
In they go.
There we go.
Wow!
The
David
nose.
has got Gary Lineker's teeth.
put his
in
ears
now.
on. Put his
Put
ears
his
on.
ears.
They're quite large, as
we go.
Charles says.
And now his
There
nose.
we go. No, I might need some string for that. To put around
Wow!
there. It's just,
David looks like Gary
Now read out
Lineker.
the
Do I
football
really look like
results.
Gary Lineker?
Yeah.
Dude,
Could I pass as
Now
Gary
read
present
out
the
Lineker?
football.
football results.
I can't really speak with a T, but welcome to Grandstand.
Match of the day.
Match of the day.
Talk
Alongside,
normally, surely.
I can sort of just about talk with the teeth.
Yeah.
Alongside me is John Barnes, who's going to help analyse the show. And we're really going to get behind the goals and understand the thinking and psychology behind getting a ball,
What are the
kicking it in
results?
the air, and scoring.
Didn't
the results
John-
are 3.
Didn't John Barnes die the other day? In that
Yeah,
accident?
stick John Barnes's.
Get John Barnes' stuff out the other drawer.
Yeah.
Be John Barnes because you said
Yeah,
it's got.
put his nose.
Is
and
that
mouth.
appropriate? Well,
What's
it's
the
just
problem
like
with
another
that?
man's skin type of thing.
Oh yeah, the Gary Lineker thing was fine.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so here are his teeth.
So David's putting
Nice
John
and
Barnes'
clean.
teeth
Obviously,
in
you
his
know,
mouth.
Colgates them regularly.
Now,
Here we
put
go.
John Barnes' ears on.
Okay, yeah, they're smaller, but I can sort of dangle them off
John
my
Barnes'
earrings.
nose.
Nose, slide that on. That goes in very nice.
And now do the John Barnes rap, the World Cup rap.
You gotta move to the groove. You gotta move in rhythm. You gotta kick that ball so it hits the net. You gotta hold up that World Cup trophy.
Okay, David, so let's move. That was really good, by the way.
Thank
Round
you.
of applause.
Hugely
So
appreciated.
let's have the golden
That
question.
has got a bit of parsley on it.
What, the nose has got parsley on it, or
No
the
idea.
teeth?
So,
By the way, Gary Lineker's widow was stood behind you that whole time.
yeah.
I thought she was. I
Yeah.
could feel a bad presence, and I'm
Yeah.
going to have to apologise now. It's another letter I'm going to have to write to somebody.
Yeah.
So we have a section on the podcast which has really taken off, isn't it?
Oh, it is definitely a big
It's called
winner.
the golden question section where David gets to
Yeah.
ask the guest one question.
Okay.
So, have you got a question for
Yes,
Ian, and his surname is?
Boldsworth.
Yes, well done.
Wonderful stuff. I've
Okay.
learnt it now. I just
Yeah.
need to repeat it in my head
So
continually,
your question
like
for
a
Ian
prayer.
is.
So, ultimately, the question: am I right in thinking you're a regular visitor on a podcast that focuses on films?
No.
No. Okay.
Wrong
okay.
person. Wrong person.
What did
I was
you-
so confident about that.
What was it you thought? What was?
I thought you were on a Fubar radio show and you come on and you discuss movies with somebody. Have you ever been on Fubar, the radio station?
I've been on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
No.
Isn't that Sean Walsh or something?
Oh, it's Sean. Yeah.
No, I don't think it is. I think it might still be you.
I've got my own show on
So you
Fubar.
don't believe it?
And no, I do believe in 100%. Maybe it was a case of I heard.
Are you thinking
dis-
about Dan Clark?
You on the Dan Clark show?
I'm on the Ian Boldsworth show.
Have you ever guested on Dan Clark's show?
Ian's got his own
I'm
show.
all right with my own show.
Ian's got his
So
own show.
it can't be Dan Clark. It must be a case of it was you on your own show.
Right.
And I remember being very impressed by your film knowledge.
Yeah.
So this
What
is
knowledge did I
completely
impart
wrong.
that was-
Who is on Dan Clark? You know,
Dan Clark.
I remember it was about no, but he has guests, does he not?
I don't know.
Is there a
What's
frequent
this
guest?
got to do with Ian?
I thought Ian was this man,
But
and he's not
even
the
if
man
I
was thinking
was,
of.
even if I was, the only answer I could give was yes.
And then we'd have a delicious conversation about film and some of the points that you brought up.
What?
But you're the wrong human. You're not the right person to talk to about that.
Yeah.
But you know, you've got the other podcast, Pod, which is a big
What is it?
big tuna-inner for the audience.
What's it called again?
Para.
Para.
Yeah, Paracast.
Oh yeah.
Paracast, there we
David,
go.
this is just
Well,
shit.
It is, because I've got the wrong person. You know, I've gone
exactly.
to leap over the horse like a gymnast,
Yeah.
and I've slipped even at the beginning.
How long
I
does
was
it take you to get here,
100%
Ian?
confident.
Nearly 3 hours.
Nearly 3 hours.
Can I just say, the man I am
Did you hear the
thinking-
answer?
3 hours? 3 hours, that's a hell of a lot. Where have you come from to... I thought you were part of the big smoke,
No,
the
gosh,
London
no.
community.
North.
One more question. One more. I'm giving you a little extra tidbit. A golden
No,
question.
interestingly though, you said Paracast. That was good. That was one of the names that it was going to be called originally, and then I looked it up and it had been taken already. Paracast. I quite liked Paracast.
He
but-
doesn't even know he just said
But
parrot.
Parapod is the one that we settled on. Parapod, all one word.
Oh, I
Parapod.
said Parapod originally, didn't I?
Eventually, yeah.
Right, okay, but I thought that was still sort of seen as
Come on,
the
focus.
parasites
Focus.
appeared
This
again.
is- Focus.
Yeah,
This is a
okay.
shambles.
So, one thing I'd like to chat. I'm a big fan of films. Also,
Right.
I'm an enormous fan of
I'm
the
not sure Ian
paranormal.
is. Are you in?
Well, I like.
No, no, I
film.
like
Yeah, you
films.
got that.
I like
I'm
a film, but I wouldn't
take it or leave
I
it.
wouldn't do a
fan of
radio
them.
show about one.
No.
No, quite right. It's oversaturated the market of those.
Yeah.
But the paranormal. Do you come
to?
towards the paranormal in a cynical manner, or do you come towards the paranormal as a believer, like Fox Murdoch would?
Fox Murdoch.
Fox.
This is the
from
I'd
X-Files.
say the worst.
I'll
worst
no,
David Edward
Brian,
performance.
full eye contact.
Stop
Apologies.
pointing.
So I'm
stop
putting that
shouting.
away.
Naughty.
Terrible.
Fox Mulder, are you a believer?
Do you know what's wrong with that question? There's lots of things wrong with it.
Where'd you
Oh,
start?
Brian, apologies about this.
For
This
me,
is,
what's wrong with that question is it shows absolute disregard for the and disinterest in the person you're asking it of. So I think
Yeah.
if you genuinely wanted to know about that, you would at the very least have either heard 10 minutes of an episode of it. I've heard this podcast,
Yeah.
This is
so
very
that's why I
true.
know who you are and I know all about you. And by the way, I've been told by Brian before that you're mesmerising. I never thought it would be like this.
Oh,
I
that's just positive, isn't it?
I don't
That's the
think
thing.
that I've looked at Brian, other than for "Is this real?" more than 3 times. I
know,
have
it's-
not took my eyes off you for the entire duration of this. Like it's, I've never experienced this other than in something like a romantic relationship. I have literally not took my eyes off you.
There's chemistry in the room. I feel it as well.
Yeah.
I really do.
Is that what
It
you
just
meant,
wa-
though?
I
Is that
didn't
what you-
I didn't
no,
mean
you didn't
chemistry.
that.
I didn't
No,
mean
no, no.
chemistry, no.
No.
Chemistry, well, perhaps it is chemistry if you dig deep and think about it a bit more inside your soul.
I didn't see it that way, but I You are absolutely intriguing. Absolutely intriguing.
Well, thank you very much.
He's still wearing Gary's ears.
I am. They're sliding off.
That's part of what I was staring
Because I'm
at.
distracted by what's happening.
You're not offended by?
I'm not offended in
No.
the slightest.
No,
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 not at all.
no.
But no, I think.
No.
I know you were asked to ask the question. I know you were told to ask the question. That Brian said ask the question, but I think I would have gone safer with the question. I wouldn't have gone, oh, so this para pod that you do.
I was so confident with the
What's
film
that
question.
about? What do you do on it? What's your thoughts on it? It's like, well, then that's the least you should know, isn't it?
You're getting told off.
No, not
rightly
at all.
so.
No.
It's food for thought, and I've got the knife, I've got the fork, and I've got the plate, and I'm eating my thoughts, and they don't taste good. They're very plain, they're badly seasoned, and they've been burnt in the oven. It's not good.
I interview people quite a lot on my food bar show.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Oh, I can imagine. Interesting to do.
I can imagine that as
I
well.
suddenly thought I should just ask, who's your favourite guest?
Who
Yeah.
do you imagine me interviewing? I'll let you know if I have interviewed them.
I could imagine. Okay, some film stars. I imagine like Stephen Graham.
No, I've not. But that's a good shout, but no, I've not.
That would be some of the cast from This Is England.
Do you know what? I once spent an entire show trying to get any member of the cast of This Is England on the show, and no one did do it.
God, that's disappointing. I'd have thought they'd have been
It
up
was,
for that.
but do you know what? It was after the last This Is England was on, so it was very,
They were quite popular at that point.
very
They were in the middle
popular
of a boom
on that
type
day.
thing.
Yeah.
The other person, I'd imagine, the chap who plays
You're
Keith.
just going to guess actors.
No, but I'm thinking about food bar demographic, and people would be interested in that type of radio landscape.
Well, I'm stopping this whole bit.
Brian, absolutely. I'm happy to leave with you. Yeah, let's open the door.
Rubbish. It's utter rubbish.
All I can do is just say apologies to Ian and yourself.
I do believe in ghosts. I'm a big believer in ghosts.
Good stuff. I think I think at some point science will explain what ghosts are.
I think science already has, really.
Have they? In what
Yeah,
way?
I think
Can we
it
have some
has.
ghostly music just
Yes.
for 2 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about this, Brian. I'm going to pick things up. Don't worry. It's not a
Okay.
problem.
It's to do with. There's partly to do with particles. Particles is a big part of it.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's,
This is what?
This is interesting.
Well, you have-
do a TV show about
Yeah,
that.
I'll let
yeah.
the audience decide.
you have particles and microparticles. Okay, particles are kind of visible to the eye in a sense. You'll see them float by in the air. Microparticles aren't. But microparticles, when they all come together, can move in a way that could look ghostly. And the argument is that that's actually what they are. That they are that it's not just a coincidence thing like that. That is what they are, and that explains what microparticles actually are.
So they're like outlines of bodies. They're essences of bodies.
Have
like
you
the
seen
smell of food.
Prometheus?
I have. Yes.
film?
Have.
Remember there was memories in that film. There was shadows of memories.
I think I remember the
you
worm
watch it all
coming
the
out
way
of the
through?
stomach, but I don't remember memories moving around.
Well, there were shadows of the past. So there were things like they were in a corridor.
Oh, I do remember. And you saw the helmeted aliens, and they appear like holograms type of vibe.
They weren't holograms. They were shadows of the past. They were
I thought it
echoes
was a
of the
film
past.
Again. Right. Okay. Echoes of the past.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So that's what a ghost could be, an echo of the past, and how it shows itself is in microparticles.
Now, the interesting thing with that is I've thought that like it's an echo of the past. That's entered my head before.
Yeah.
But when it's a poltergeist and they're actually throwing annuals at you or large china bowls, that isn't an echo, is it? That's an actual thing that's interacting with you.
in the time. Now, the argument would be that it could be that. It could be an echo of the past that just, and again, it's fluke. It's just fluking it. It's throwing things, doesn't even know you're there, and it seems like you're under attack. Or that they can exist in the now,
right.
and that's the reason that they're poltergeists. The reason that they're so angry and violent is because that is out of the norm for what they are. For what they ghosts normally exist just in their time, and then you might see an echo of the past. But if they're here and now, that would be a panic for a spirit. It'd be like,
so
isn't
they're
where I'm meant to
shocked
be.
where they are, sort of thing.
So they're thrashing about, yeah.
But an echo can't be an actual entity, can it? Because that's just the other thing I was going to say is just that.
No, I was using that as an. I was trying to explain it to
example.
you. It's an echo of the past, as in it's that sort of thing as in Prometheus.
Right. Okay. And why don't
Can
you
you do
get
an impression of the ghost, David?
Not in a morgue, mate. Come
It
on.
would be
Wow.
a case of.
Well, just do it. Okay.
I think if it was like a very mundane voice, like David Edwards, greetings. Just very simple, not like David Edwards. Just a simple one like that.
No, so,
But
and
I've
again, we'll put a bit of echo on it.
David Edwards, welcome. Simple as that. Welcome to what? Am I dead with you?
Well, chat to it.
Well, what era do you come from? If it's gonna, it hasn't replied.
You're doing it.
Oh, I'm doing the voice as well.
doing
Sorry,
everything.
I'm doing both. The 1800s.
Now you're doing the voice.
Sorry,
You started giving it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Which era do you come from? The 1940s.
Changes it for the voice. Different voice.
Which era are you from? 1940s?
That's like it didn't know. It's asking
There's
you.
a question mark.
Is it? No, is it? Which one am I?
Were you murdered in the war? Unfortunately, yes. Was it the Blitz, or were you on German soil? It was London, it was the Blitz. I was hit by shrapnel. What do you want from me? Some sense of empathy and connection. I apologise. And that's, I think, conversation can only go so far.
That's good.
I've wondered,
Guys.
Yeah.
Let's play past the particles.
Oh! Why not? Pass the particles.
Okay.
In ghost form.
Okay, we'll have a quick game of pass the particles. Ready, steady, go.
My particle
Over to you, David.
Oh, thank you. Here's some particles, Ian.
Thank you. Oh, they're
Thank
not-
you.
not
Oh,
easy.
over to me, back to Ian.
Yeah.
There are a few parts. They're slipping through my fingers, so I'll give them to you now.
Thank you, Alf.
Slippery.
Back to me, back to Ian. And
Oh.
the music stops. It's on you, David.
Whoa! What do you do when you've got particles? Do you unwrap them?
Don't know. Last question, Ian. Last question. And then, do you know what? Because you've been naughty, I think you've been naughty.
No, I
I think you've been
I'll put
naughty.
you in one of those drawers.
Naughty and
Fair
disrespectful.
enough. I'll happily get in the drawer and I'll close the drawer. Well, I can't be in the drawer, but I'll happily be closing
All right.
the drawer.
Okay. Last question.
Can you imagine a situation where Brian did something that made you never talk to him again?
Wow.
I think that, if
And it
was-
can't be like murdered somebody in you, like something that would exist within a friendship. I presume you're friends. You seem like you're friends.
Yeah, no, we are. I'd
Yeah,
like to
woo!
think that. No, definitely.
Yeah, you are,
yes,
definitely.
No, absolutely. No,
We really are.
We are. It's not fiction. It's not like
Yeah.
Stan Laurel and the fat one
Yeah.
who hardly
Oliver
interacted.
Hardy.
Oliver Hardy.
We walked through a train station today.
Okay. What's the?
We had a
the
conversation.
Answer? What's the answer?
And now we're here.
So, is there something that Brian could do, just going about your business as you do,
I
that Brian
think-
could do that ended up with you just never talking to him ever again?
If
Ever.
I knocked on his door and there was strong evidence that he was in the house. I looked through the letterbox, or it's just blatant that he's watching, the one show on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm knocking on that door, I'm ringing the doorbell, and there's no effort to leave the couch and open the door. If I've been shunned, or if he had other. Sorry, apologies.
It's okay.
Socialising with another circle and ignoring me in the house, something like that.
Because the first one sounds like he could be dead.
God,
If
I
he's
didn't
just
think
on
of
the
that.
sofa not moving when you're knocking on the door,
Well,
you're
yeah.
immediately saying, "Oh, he's,
I'd literally
oh,
wouldn't
he's
have the
being
option
rude."
to talk to him
Yeah.
again.
So if I didn't answer the door, that would be the end of it.
And you were alive, heart was beating, oxygen was coming in and out the mouth, no problems at all, and it was just pure laziness. That would be the case. It'd just be like, right, see you later, pal. I've had that before.
That
where,
seems extreme, though,
you know-
to not ever talk to him ever again for one time.
Well, yeah, we'd have to chat about it. We wouldn't just sever all ties.
Yeah, I think if you had a good excuse, like you had slipped into some kind of medical fever or something,
What if his excuse was, "I didn't want to talk to you that day"?
that's not good enough. I don't.
Why?
I think because it's a case of he'd have invited me around. I don't invite myself to another person's house.
Oh, so
I've
he's
got a
invited
bus.
you and then ignored you?
Yeah,
Right.
invited me, then ignored me. I've got the
So
bus.
you've come all the way up.
Yeah,
from
all the way
Arundel.
on, yeah, all the way up from Arundel. I imagine I'd probably have to get a train and a bus.
You've knocked on the door.
I've knocked on the door.
I've seen you there.
Yeah, you've looked around, so you haven't had a heart attack, and you've got, engrossed in Damn Busters or some rubbish Sunday TV.
Oi.
So that's true. We've all got our own tastes. Quite right. Nothing wrong with Damn Busters, but there's no effort to get up. I think you perhaps have waited for someone else maybe to open the door, but they're not there.
Listen, we've got to come to the end of the podcast.
I apologise.
We could talk
Let's
all
get
day.
that parasite out of him quickly.
Yeah.
Please suck out the
I
vacuum cleaner
just
from the
want to stick you in the
nostril.
drawer.
I don't believe in
One of those
ghosts,
drawers.
David. I don't believe in them at all.
He doesn't believe in ghosts.
Not at all.
Really?
Really,
Yeah.
not at all.
God, that was a bit of a
Made all
shock.
that up. Just made all that up about particles. That probably doesn't stand up to scientific scrutiny at all.
Well, that's a big disappointment. I was going to Wikipedia
Yeah,
that.
have you seen
Google it.
Prometheus?
I'm like,
Have you
ask
seen
Jeeves.
Prometheus?
I have seen Prometheus.
Right.
That bit was true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never understood that being. I thought it was like computer.
Okay, David.
holograms.
So if you get into the drawer.
Okay, can someone give me a hand?
Okay, so just
Here we
holding
go.
it open.
I'll do
Is
it.
it big enough for me?
Ian's
Or
going to do it. Oh, he's going to use his foot to kick you in there.
Oh,
you go.
that's very good
So
of you.
lay down in the drawer.
Okay.
Got to write your name on it as well, Dave.
Before you go, David. Thank you, Ian, for
Yeah, no,
such a
Ian, thank you very
Don't
much.
shout,
Come on.
David, because of
Sorry.
the echo of the morgue.
Yeah, you're
Bit
quite
much.
right. Apologies.
It's a bit much,
So,
that.
it's bad with the
So if you want
eardrums.
to kick the drawer shut, do you want to say one last thing to Ian?
It's gone.
Ian, sorry about your surname.
Just keep
Let's
the
go.
drawer.
Can't really hear him.
Thank you, Ian.
Pleasure, mate.
Thank you, Charles, David. I can hear you in there.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Thank you, James, the editor, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.
Thanks. That was a Mr. Box production.
Không chịu qua đâu, vài đứa. Thì chơi để mời á, chơi với thân biết để mời á, những kia nó nhiều ra. Không thì quay trong trường nhưng có đi mô sao đặc biệt. Đặc biệt. Ai. Nói chuyện nữa. Đi đâu bây giờ? À. Rồi chắc đúng rồi đó. Được. Thế chi thì mình về nhà rồi. Thì mình về lại Trung Hoa rồi. Tết về tôi thăm đấy. Bữa gọi điện không gì gọi điện nói chuyện được mấy đàng hoàng nha, này tay một cái mobile star, một cái điện thoại giống như một cái cà phê lướt này, lướt Facebook là một cái gọi điện tốt nha. Bộ đội đó, không bộ đội nó sướng đi sướng. Nó kêu là mẹ hai này sướng, biết về Trung Hoa sau đây về làm điều đội trưởng này, đi huấn luyện không biết sao này, ở đó nó ngồi ăn đi chơi ngồi internet cả ngày nữa. Đám Lân Viên Hoa thằng Hoàng Lý top 2 à? Đám 3 thằng mà, nghe là 3 thằng mà. Chắc say à? Có gì tối điện kể vụ đi coi nha. Rồi bye hãy.